Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I am going to explain trimester 3 planner exam structure, focusing on the following points. As you know, students have to pay attention to the following elements while they are in the last 2 weeks. Things that must be taken into your account: the grammar that must be covered, past time and past perfect, conditionals using I wish and if only, first conditional, second conditional, passives, models that is used for deduction. These things are very important because in the planner, we have to focus on these things. Something else that must be taken into your account as students, the themes that will be covered. We have to concentrate on food and drink, entertainment, looking back. Looking back has to do with comparing between present and the past. Maybe we'll have an essay about restaurants or food between present and past, and the relationship between food and the drinks and entertainment, or what is the effect of eating food. It has to do with these 3 themes, which must be taken into your account. During the exam, students are asked to write something. As you know, the exam is paper based. It is classified into 2 parts. The first part of the exam will be writing. In writing, students will be asked to do the following. They are going to express their opinions about the essay. For example, eating healthy food is a good thing. What's your opinion about this? The text, try to write at least 2 sentences. After writing the opinion, students have to write a plan for the essay. In the essay, they will be asked to write a plan. The essay will focus on 3 things. For example, going to restaurants is something good for all of us. Do you agree or disagree? And why do you go there? What's your opinion about restaurants? You, in the planning stage, you need to write introduction. Under the introduction, write something. The first body and the second body, finally the conclusion. In the first body, you can answer the first question that I have already asked. In the second body, you can answer the second question. In the conclusion, you just express your opinion, whether do you agree or disagree. And this is planning. After planning, students are asked to write about 120 words essay. In the essay, they have to write introduction, body, 2 bodies, and conclusion. In the introduction, they will explain, for example, why are restaurants important? What is the characteristics of restaurants? They have to compare between restaurants in the past and nowadays. And the third part of the introduction, they will say, in this essay, I will talk about the following things or the questions that are in the premise. The fourth part of the essay will be inference question. As you know, inference question is a little bit difficult. Students are asked to read a text. This text is at level text. The text is like a story. Maybe it will talk about a restaurant owner. He is facing some problems. They want the student have to infer or guess what's going to happen next or what is the reaction of that restaurant or owner. And they have to write their inference or guessing what's going to happen. At the end, the second part of the inference question, it's justification. Students should justify their answers by saying, okay, I have chosen this answer because they have to refer to the text and quote a sentence. The sentence should be inserted and between two inverted commas. Writing part, the weight of writing part is 40% of the whole or overall score. After that, students have to start answering reading part. Reading part, as you know, the reading itself, it has many subparts or subcategories. But just to sum up what's going on, students have maze question, 5 multiple choice questions. This is the first part. And the second part of maze questions, 10 questions. In maze questions, students will focus on some grammatical points, and I will show you some of them right now in a hurry. Things that must be covered in the maze, like this. For example, I will be working in the office at 2 afternoon. They should have to use will be plus will be verb ing with tomorrow. Will be flying, will be driving, will be running. They will have, for example, space, and they will have 3 answers. For example, will be working, will be work, will be working. Students should choose will be working. The second part, this is the job that my friend wanted. This sentence is divided into 2 parts. This is the job present. Before that, present. After that, simple past. We have to write wanted. And other example, he is the friend who. I'm talking about friend, person, who I told you about. That's the movie. That's the movie that I wanted to see, because I'm talking about not a human being. That's the city that I wanted to explore. As you can see, present with past, present with past. Because we have who and that, we have to add present and past. The email, which was sent yesterday, this is non-defining relative clause, because we have comma here and comma here. In the non-defining relative clause, we can delete the phrase or non-defining phrase or clause because it just gives us extra information or add more information or more details about the idea. The idea of the sentence, the email needs to be read by everyone, which was sent yesterday, just to give me more information or more details. And email, with email, we use which because it is not a human being. Sarah, who? Person. Tell only those who. I'm talking about people. I planned on traveling to the island where place. Next, for example, my brother has 2 phones. I'm talking about the phones, not about my brother, which I have to use which. He was late, which was unusual, because his being late was unusual. It's raining, which is really annoying. Raining, which. I had an interview for a job, which. I'm talking about the interview, use which. Dahlia was thinking of buying a new laptop. Was thinking, I must use past continuous, because thinking is a mental activity. It is not like believe. Dahlia was using her mind, and she was thinking of buying a new laptop. I have to focus on this proposition. After of, I have to add ing of buying. We were thinking of starting. Were you thinking of living? Wasn't say thinking of joining. Therefore, with plural, we, you, they, we use where. With he, she, it, and we use was. I'm talking about something happened in the past. I have to insert during after the preposition of, and thinking is not like believe or think, because I think it means I believe in something. Next, there's no point talking to Fatima. There's no point. After no point, I have to add gerund ing. There is no point. And that car is not worth. After worth, I have to add ing. No point in changing, not worth giving. During the exam, you will have different answers or different choices. For example, there is no point talk. There is no point talked. There is no point talking. You must choose talking because after there's no point, I have to add gerund. Next part, using as soon as. After as soon as, I have to add had plus past participle. Before as soon as, verb to. I handed in sometimes as soon as in the middle, sometimes at the beginning. It has nothing to, it's just depends on the action, whether the action had happened before or after. I handed in my homework, simple past, as soon as I had completed it, past perfect. As soon as she had taken her medicine, she felt past perfect, simple past. She moved on to the next project as soon as she had finished her first one. As you can see, before as soon as, verb 2, after as soon as, had a plus verb 3. I have been working at the company for 5 years before. If you have four and before them, you have to add had been plus verb ing, which is past perfect continuous. I had been living in Paris for 3 years when I met. It's also when. It is the same, the function of when, the same like before. How long had you been waiting when I arrived? It was Kathy who had been playing the piano for over 30 years. Anyway, if you have for and when, for before then add had been plus verb ing. And during the exam, you will have different answers and you have to choose this. Had, for example, had work, had works, had been working. The correct answer had been working because I have for and I have before. It is believed that. It is believed that this expression with is, you have to add ed and that. It is believed that. Sometimes they will give you, it is believing that. It's not correct. It is believed that. It is not correct. It is believed, listen, it is believed that you have to add is plus ed plus that. It was expected that, the same thing. It plus was plus ed or past participle. It was thought that. It was agreed that. As you can see, after it, you have to add either is or was. If you are talking about present, you add is. If you are talking about past, you add after it was plus past participle, and you can complete the sentence. Here, as you can see, that women would get, because I have was, would get married. Was thought had been destroyed. Was agreed that was. In this sentence, I use simple past because I'm talking about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs years ago. We have 65 million years ago, dinosaurs. Therefore, I used past. Anyway, you have to use in the second part of all of these sentences past tense. During the exam, you will have some expressions. I want you to focus on them. In spite of his injury. Sometimes they will give you in spite without of, or they will give you spite without in. Focus on this expression. In spite of his injury, Hamdan continued to drive. Even though, sometimes they will give you though even, but it starts with even though I studied for hours. What is the result? I wasn't able to get marks. This is positive and this is negative. Even though I took my medicine, I wasn't able to recover. Even though I got up early, I wasn't able to catch the bus. The result is not acceptable or is negative. Layla was very tired. Nevertheless, she was determined to finish her work. As you can see here, Layla was tired. She was determined to finish. Although she was tired, she completed her work. The result is not expected. Because if she was tired, this means that the logical answer or the possible answer is that she's not going to complete her work or finish her work. But whenever you have different results, you will use nevertheless or you use even though. Nevertheless must be inserted in the middle of the sentence, even though at the beginning of the sentence, and in the middle you insert a comma. Other expressions, I really want to get the job. I really, really before the verb. Sometimes they give you reality like this, really. But as you can see, you have to use the adverb before the verb. I am planning to go to the cinema this weekend. Planning. I am thinking about going to the cinema this weekend, but I have not gone already, or I will go later on. I hope many people buy electric cars in the future. Hope many people buy electric cars in the future. I'm talking about the future. I use hope, and after hope, I have to use simple present. After I am planning, something is going to happen in the future. I really want to get the job, something I'm seeking for. Describing hopes and the plans. I use really, want to, planning, and hope. I work on working. After this verb, I have to add working ing. Do you think Khalid will attend? After do you think, I have to add will attend. In the next 5 years, in, not on or at, in the next 5 years, I can see myself living. I can see myself living. After I see, I have to add ing. Although we have can, some student will say, okay, after can, we need to add infinitive, but because I can't see myself, adverbial phrase, it's I have to add ing. It has to do with making predictions and hypothesizing about something. When I was a child, I'm talking about the past. I have to use after was, after I was. My teacher would read us every day. When I am a child, my teacher will read. Because I use was, I use would. After would, infinitive. After uh, okay, the second sentence, I finished school in 2022, 2020, ED, or the simple past, the year the pandemic began. Because I'm talking about the past, I have to use finished and began. There is a balance between time. After studying, as you can see, we get used to add had after, but because we don't have the subject and we add during studying for 3 years, the next part of the sentence, verb to, because if I try to add the subject, it will become after I had studied or I had been studying, I left. I had heard that entrepreneurs can make a difference. This part has to do with the past, but what I describe, I'm talking here, it's another experience that I'm going to expect in the future. As soon as I graduated or I had graduated, I applied and got. As you can see, before and is like after and. I have simple past, simple past. Graduated or had graduated. I can add had graduated in this sentence. Anyway, this is just a very fast review to the grammatical points that must be covered in the exam. During the exam, students will focus on many things, and I have prepared this kind of summative assessment guidance uh, that focuses on the exam. Things that must be taken into your account, as I told you before: entertainment, food and drink, looking back. In the first question, for example, in the writing, students are asked to answer a question about their opinion on the topic. You will be given a booklet and you have to express your opinion about it. For example, during holidays, some people enjoy going to different restaurants to eat tasty dishes. Do you agree or disagree with this behavior? Write at least 2 sentences. This is just to give your opinion about this, the topic or the essay. You can say, I agree, holidays are a great time to explore new restaurants. It's a chance to break away from routine meals, try exciting flavors, and create delicious memories with friends and family. This is the question has to do with your opinion. The second question, you should prepare a plan. Students are asked to create a plan for their essay. Plans can vary. For example, it can be the main points in the introduction, body, and conclusion of the essay. In the plan, you have to write a plan for the essay. Below, please note this question asks for a plan, not a false essay. You should write the essay in the next question. During holidays, some people enjoy going to different restaurants to eat tasty dishes. Do you agree or disagree with this behavior? You have to cover the following. What's your favorite food? Why do you like it? Do you prefer to eat at home or a restaurant? In the plan, you have to write introduction. You have to write body 1, body 2, and body 3. Okay, the plan, for example, the restaurant during, agree with trying new restaurants during holidays, favorite food, for example, benefits of restaurants, break from routine, uh, and or you can follow a different type. For example, in the introduction, you can write something. The first body answer the first question. The second body answer the second question. And at the end of the planning, you should talk about your opinion. Do you agree or disagree? This part has to do with the plan. After that, you are asked to use the plan that you have already prepared to or created to write at least 120 words essay about the same topic. During holidays, some people enjoy going to different restaurants to eat tasty dishes. Do you agree or disagree with this behavior? In your essay, you have to cover what is your favorite food, why do you like it, do you prefer to eat at home or at restaurant. In the introduction, I want you to talk about the importance of restaurant and food in general. Compare between food in the past and nowadays. Then you will say, in this essay, I will talk about my favorite food. Why do I like it? Why, whether I prefer to eat at home or at restaurant. This is in the introduction. In the second paragraph, you will talk about your favorite food. To describe your favorite food, the ingredients of your favorite food, the components, who eat it with you. And in the second paragraph, you will explain why do you like that food and who can agree with you. In the third paragraph or in the conclusion, you will say in the conclusion, or to sum up, or to conclude, or to end, or to make a long story short, I think that eating at home is better than eating at restaurants because my mother is a good cook and I like eating at home. Or I think, or I believe eating at restaurants is better than eating at home. You have the right to answer whatever you like. The second part or the fourth part, inference question. In the inference question, students are given a long text and are asked a question to infer some detail based on the given text. The text sometimes is long. You need to get the main idea of the text, try to write what's going to happen. For example, you have a long text right here. You have to read it thoroughly and deeply. After reading the text, you are asked, for example, to write based on the above text or passage, what can you infer about the author's overall opinion on exploring restaurant during holidays? What can you infer? What can you guess? You will write this, your answer. The author suggests balance because they see both upsides, new flavors, relaxation, memories, and downside, cost, health to holiday restaurant hopping. They want to enjoy both restaurants and home cooked meals for a week. This is the inference question. The second part of the inference question, justification. You are asked to justify your answer to the inference question that you have already answered. supporting your answer with information from the text. Explain why the author suggests a balanced perspective when it comes to restaurant hopping during holidays. Use evidence. The author encouraged, this is the answer, a logical answer or a model answer or suggested answer. The author encourages exploring restaurant during the holidays, but stresses the importance of doing so in a balanced way. This ensures you can enjoy the benefits, new flavors, break, and something else. You need to quote from the text. This is we have now we will move to reading. In reading part, you have the first maze. You are asked to answer 5 multiple choice grammar or maze. I have already given you examples. The second maze, you will answer 10 multiple choice sentence. Also, I have already covered it. Then you will have a short text with 6 multiple choice questions. This text is very easy. It's below your level. The second text is at level, about 320 words, and you will have different type of questions. For example, where, when, why, how. And you will be asked about, maybe in the third text, the mood of the writer or of the author. At the very beginning of the text, he was upset, pessimistic. At the end, he was optimistic, he was happy. This is the mood. Or what do you think will happen next? And the last text, you will be asked only 4 multiple choice questions, and you will focus, but it's a little bit difficult. It needs to think out of the box, try to analyze, try to read between the lines. Anyway, I will just sum up what I have explained to you. We need to focus on food and drink, entertainment, and looking back as basic theme, not only in writing, but also in reading. Uh, in this booklet that I have already given to my students, they will have samples of forms. These samples are very good. They give them real life practice. And the link here in this booklet that submitted to the students, they will have answers for many things. You can download many files or that give you clear-cut ideas about the text and about exams. Some samples, there are some samples regarding writing. You can, student can refer to them and benefit from them, and they will get high score. These samples in this booklet are comprehensive. Sometimes here we have a sample of exam, last year's exam. This is the last year's exam. Students are asked to complete amazing questions like this. And at the end of this booklet, they will discover that they have completed the tasks. They have answered most of the questions or all of the questions successfully. Thank you very much for following up, and have a nice day.